Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on The Monkey. This movie is directed by Osgood Perkins, the director of Longlegs, which actually isn't even a year old yet. So to see him make another movie in 7 months later? I mean, I know it wasn't exactly 7 months, but the fact that he's making another movie less than a year after is quite impressive. Now, in this movie, we follow two twins named Bill and Hal, both played by Theo James. They separate apart years later after finding this monkey toy that kills people when you wind it up and it starts playing drums, and once it finishes playing the drums, somebody dies. It could be a loved one, it could be someone they just met, it could be anyone, and they all die in very grisly ways. Now, I was originally going to see this movie Thursday night, which was yesterday as I'm filming this video, but I couldn't because there was a big amount of snow, and it's probably the biggest snow we had in quite some time, so because of that, I wasn't able to see it until today. And I wasn't doing anything today, so hey, that was perfectly fine. And yeah, it was pretty much worth waiting that extra day because I had a lot of fun with this movie. I like how, Osgood Perkins went from making a film that's far more serious. He's going for a little bit more of the fun route because, while I absolutely loved Longlegs, I could understand why people thought that movie was boring because it's definitely more of a movie that makes you think. And while this movie certainly has elements of that too, it's just not afraid to go flat out bizarre with the killings. And I feel like that's probably going to make some people who were disappointed with Longlegs a little bit more happy with this film. It's based on a short story by Stephen King. James Wan helped produce the film. And the way it plays out is absolutely bizarre. Like the opening sequence, the opening kill gives you exactly what to expect throughout the rest of the film because it's just going to get more insane from there. And it also has elements of humor mixed in. So at first I was kind of like, okay, so there's humor in this movie. I mean, I kind of expected that because, well, the fact that we're watching a movie involving a killer toy monkey, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were elements of humor. And while I will admit, the monkey itself is quite creepy, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if we're talking about crazy toy monkeys, I think I was kind of a little bit more creeped out by that monkey from Toy Story 3. You know, that one, when I was watching the movie in IMAX, I was all like, oh my god, this still managed to get a G rating, even though literally every single animated film gets a PG rating for mild thematic elements or something like that. I don't know, I always found that monkey creepy, and yeah, but because I'm much older, I didn't really expect to be fully creeped out by this film because, like I mentioned before, it does have elements of humor mixed in, and oftentimes it can be funny. Like, sometimes a death happens, and then it'll cut to a funeral, which happens quite a bit in the film, which, yeah, expect quite a bit of that because death is a very big thing in this movie, and I feel like the movie does definitely tackle the subject of death, and it does take it to, sometimes on a serious route when it comes to the message of death and all. Like, it certainly has been done in plenty of other movies, but it's also not afraid of bringing in the subject of death of just, happening whenever, because basically nobody is safe in this movie. Like, anything could happen at any possible minute. There's also parts of the movie where it tries to get you to connect with Hal and his son and, that relationship that he had with his brother. Because ever since one specific death happened, they haven't talked to each other since. And throughout a majority of the film, he just stays silent about it when it's with his kid. But of course, that has to happen more later on, especially since, the monkey kills a lot, even when nobody's even using it. And I'm not even going to go any further into spoilers. You're just going to have to watch the movie for yourself. And I definitely do recommend it. I'll definitely admit, while I do find a lot of the jokes pretty well done, there's a lot of elements to the humor that I feel like could definitely be a little bit much and a little cliched, where I feel like that they're trying to make the comedy elements and the horror elements blend in much better together, especially since, that has been done many times. But with a film like this, the fact that, this involves a toy monkey, which, of course, I didn't even know a whole lot about what the monkey is supposed to do, but I appreciate the fact that it's not just like another Chucky doll where it just goes around killing people. No, this monkey, someone has to use it, and that person dies in like a Final Destination matter, which we're already getting another Final Destination movie, so yeah, it's perfect for this film. And that's definitely what some people are going to be reminded of. Like, Final Destination if it involved a toy monkey. And yeah, I had myself a pretty fun time with it, especially since, it's not overly long. It's about 10 minutes shorter than Long Legs, but I shouldn't really compare that film to this film, as that film is far different. And this one just manages to be very playful when it comes to its horror and its comedy, and it just isn't afraid to show off as much gore as possible, and it does manage to be very creative, and that's definitely what saved the movie for me, as it does try to get you to connect with the characters a little bit. I really like how, the twins are played by the same guy, which I thought was really unique, and the performances, they're very solid. But, it does have that titular theme about, a dad and his son, how they aren't really getting along a whole lot, but hey, like I mentioned before, it does get serious at some parts, but it's also not afraid of not taking itself seriously. And I definitely appreciate about this movie. And all in all, I had myself a pretty bloody fun time. It manages to tackle the subject of death, but also manages to make it a little more fun. It does get serious at some parts, but also doesn't. But I feel like it's mostly not, because they know that the premise is silly when it comes to this toy monkey. But I can certainly say without a doubt, it definitely won me over with the fact that, it's just not afraid of showing as much blood on the screen as possible, as we already knew from the trailer that there was going to be a lot of it. Like that one scene where the woman was jumping into the pool. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely have been, they haven't been afraid for what they've been doing. So I generally appreciate it for that. And yeah, by the end of it, I had myself a really fun time, and I went bloody bananas by the end. I generally do think that Osgood Perkins definitely has some creativity behind him, and I can't wait to see what he does more with his filmography, because clearly he is not slowing down, and I hope he doesn't, because he has a very twisted mind. Despite the fact that this is being adapted into something, he still manages to have a blast making these types of films. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and make sure to hit the subscribe button for more. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.